Back again. What's up, Vegas Zeitgeist on WCOBM with Jean and Alexander as your host. And the third segment always about my story, and it is always interviewed by Jay Jordan, who did the biographical sketch. And again, if you are interested in your own biographical sketch, what as well helps you to me-evaluate yourself in the me-evaluation workshop, then please go to
JohnEdwardJordan.jj@gmail.com.
All right, and we start again with dedication to mom and dad, read from Jay Jordan, Walter Bentley's.
Walton Benton's,
Benton's.
This Is My Beloved.
This is my beloved.
And I think this little segment that I'm going to read is very well personifies both her mom and dad, having been separated for a number of years, but still devoted to each other. I will be forgetting you each day, every hour, each night and day, each hour, something wonderful and dear of you will wring my heart and knock upon my mind. Each time I will hear Galbert and Sullivan and Strauss, I shall forever be forgetting the quick, happy kisses like samples to my own lips could never be fully captured yours. Sunday will be the hardest to forget. Late Sunday mornings, and on and on. We got to the point
Yes,
of...
thank you first of all
You're
for
welcome.
sharing that
You're
with
welcome.
us.
Yeah.
And yeah.
First of all, this time we had two key words that I wanted to remember as launching points, and I forget the two words that I wanted to use, but there were two incidents that you talked about the last time that had two key words.
Spaghetti?
Spaghetti, and what was the other one? What was the other one?
Spaghetti, tears, and theater.
Right, and
Right.
then that was followed by
Karma.
karma. That's where we want to start this time.
Right.
What
okay.
happened after karma? And if you want to review just a little bit,
All right.
please be.
So yeah, spaghetti, tears, and theater at the theater.
Right.
That was when I was sitting in the little restaurant, the Italian restaurant, what
Right.
I find on Alexander Street in Rochester, New York, in the wintertime of 2005.
And that was ironic itself, Alexander
Yes,
Street.
Right, my last name, Alexander. Then I realized that I would not have, that I haven't had anything to eat. Wanted to eat my spaghetti at the Italian restaurant. My son called. All of a sudden, everything, went through, and I was kind of, I couldn't do anything than just tears fall down
You're kind of overwhelmed,
into my
right?
spaghetti. And the people next to me, the gentleman and these two ladies in their
Right.
at least 75, 80-year-old, interesting group of people, very sophisticated. The gentleman, I never forget, this white hair to a ponytail, and
Right.
asked me if I would go to the theater. And I said, I have my own theater today. Thank you so much. But we ended up, I joined their table, and I talked about my story, and they were so fascinated they forgot their theater.
It was
They
better
had
to the theater, because this was
right.
theater of life.
Exactly. So, and then the next day, I was introduced as well at my dad's place to some of my relatives,
Right.
my new aunts, my new uncles, my new cousins. And it was, it was so overwhelmed. There was so much. So it was just too much, kind of.
Right.
So, but the end of the day, same situation. I needed that little break in
Right.
between. I needed to
Decompress a little bit.
decompress, exactly. Went to my hotel room, went to the Italian restaurant, and then there was these two ladies, young ladies, celebrating their birthday, or one of the birthdays, and we start talking, sitting at one table, and then we start talking about my story.
Right.
And then she said, oh my gosh, I tried to convince my friend to find her own biological parents. She's adopted. So this coincidence actually made
Right.
her do this step, and she said, "Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I will make it happen." And she did. We were in contact for a while, and she found her biological parents, and she was so happy and thankful that that my input actually gave her that little boost.
Right.
So, and then at this evening, after our spaghetti or pizza, whatever it was, we were ready to celebrate her birthday, and she said, let's go over, see if there is maybe a bar or a disco or something, just to dance. And we were walking, and all of a sudden I looked on the other side, and I said, what is that? There was this neon light, and there was a place, and it was called Karma.
Right.
That was my place.
Right.
I said, this is exactly where I would like to be. So we went over and
that was
to
kind of a
Karma.
sign. Yeah.
Yes, it was just, the whole trip was kind of one after the other,
Right, right.
So, and then we start dancing, and there was that that gentleman who reminded me on Beuys. Beuys is a German artist, international artist.
Right.
He's not there anymore, but he was always wearing this hat
Right.
and this trench coat, and he came up and he asked, "What's your story? What are you
Right.
doing here?" For whatever reason,
Right.
people thought that I was kind of different,
Right.
like always. And we start talking, and he said, I want you to see a different place. This is a nice place, but I want you to see a different place. You will love that. So we drove around, all three of us or four of us, and ended up in a place that was called Clarissa Room. And this was exactly how I always pictured my mom and dad dancing in the 50s, at a place with this little cocktail
Right.
seats, the band playing in jazz in the back.
Right.
It was just, I felt like I've seen that before. It was called Clarissa Room. And it was in a neighborhood. I didn't know this neighborhood until, and it was an older neighborhood, but very clean. Everything was built up. So, and then I had these little, they gave me something like
A
that.
little pass chip.
A little chip, but it was red. So, and I had the best time ever. There were awesome saxophone players and jazz musicians. I had the best time. I felt the spirit. I felt the spirit.
Right.
So what happened? The next day, my aunt, my new aunt Marilyn, she came over, and she saw
The
that
chip.
little chip, and she said, "Where's that chip coming from?" I said, "Well, yesterday evening I went to," she said, "This is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to introduce you to this particular place, because that place, Clarissa Room, is since whatever 1910, something like that, and that's the place where my grandmother learned to dance,
Wow.
met my grandfather, and my father
Right.
were, in
Right.
his younger years,
Right. Went there too.
went there too. So that was kind of, come on. That's where I thought, I am in the right place.
Right.
This is exactly what I wanted to do and what I wanted to see and what I wanted to feel, that spirit of my roots. So what was it? It was the jazz, and it was all this, I had
The
it.
art, the culture, a little bit of
Absolutely.
everything, right?
Yes, yes, it was wonderful. And I would love to tell you more and more and more about all what happened in the next, on next Friday. Is that our Christmas season? I think so. But anyways, tune in next week and stay tuned for this fourth segment where we talk about our Zeitgeist tours. And I thank you so much for listening, and
To be continued.
to be continued. Thank you.